What's going on, everybody? VHS Tacos is back with another excellent, this is actually good, I swear, please don't leave. We are celebrating the release of the Star Wars Holiday Christmas Special on Disney Plus with this week's The Rise of Skywalker. You knew it was coming. Plot breakdown. You got your bad guys, you got your good guys. Troopers, they fly now. Palpatine, he's back now. Rey, we know where she comes from now. The end. The good. This movie has a stacked cast. We have the entire cast from the trilogy that we built upon, and then of course we're still bringing in some of the legacy characters. We finally get Lando Calrissian back, and it's awesome. Just seeing Billy D. Williams on screen with that silky, smooth, suave voice that he has. Getting Billy D back, man, thank you. And of course, Luke, he shows up briefly, not all too much. You have Carrie Fisher, who very unfortunately, very sadly passed away a couple years ago, back around the time that Episode 8 came out. They had to work with just the footage that they had, so you see a lot of the footage has like a bit of a glow around it, you know, from the photoshopping her in and then splicing her in. It works about as well as it ever could have worked, in all honesty, besides going full-blown CGI a la Tarkin. They did the best they could, and it's always great seeing her on screen. The interactions that we have with the new trio, so Finn, Poe, Rey, it's great to see them together out on missions. They have such great chemistry together, and it's so much fun. I really wish that this whole trilogy had them as the focal point instead of having to split them up. The action in this movie, once again, it's a Star Wars, so the action's through the roof, whether it be the awesome light speed skipping scene at the very beginning, the awesome, exhilarating, exciting, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat Pisana chase, the weird, mind-trippy force projection, Kylo Rey fight on the Star Destroyer, but then also on the planet of Kijimi. The action kills it. You know, it's well choreographed, it's well shot, none of this shaky camp crap nonsense that, you know, we've all been accustomed to. It all looks great. It all plays out great. It's great. It's great. Adam Driver is a big plus. Let's start a GoFundMe for this man's chiropractor bill, because his spine must be snapped in half by carrying this trilogy on his shoulders. This was his trilogy from the very beginning. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody argues. This was not Rey's trilogy. This was all Ben. My favorite scene of the entire movie is hands down the reunion between Kylo Ren, Ben, and Han Solo back as a force projection, one last force projection from his dying mother. It's the best scene of the whole movie. It's probably the best scene of the whole trilogy. Some other little great, wonderful, small little things. We'll just kind of rapid fire through these. C-3PO is so great. That scene where he's there on Kijimi and he says that he's just taking one last look at his friends, that made me tear up. Babu Frick gets his own shout out. I need a Disney Plus series with Babu Frick. Just give it to me. Give me the Babu. And then finally, another small little positive would definitely have to be Hux. The grand reveal that he's the traitor, especially after the whooping that he got in Episode 8. I mean, they made him a little punk in that, but I mean, it's so great knowing that he's the traitor in this. However, that being said, now we go on to the bad. The Hux reveal is such a cool reveal. He's the traitor. He is betraying the First Order, and they dispatch him so quick. That always rubbed me the wrong way. Another bad thing about this movie is the pacing. This movie is so rapid fire, can't stop, won't stop. It can be exhausting at times because not a lot of stuff gets a lot of room to breathe. This movie is essentially two movies. So you have the first half, which is we need to try to fix what Episode 8 did, leading into the second half, which is this is what the original Episode 9 was meant to be, but now we got to cut that in half and cram it into like an hour and 10 minutes. You get a lot of stuff that gets shortchanged, you get a lot of stuff that gets yada-yada'd over. You get a very quick reveal about Rey's lineage. Another bad thing is that a lot of characters really get the shorthand on this. Finn, they built Finn up so well in Episode 8. As this coward who is finally realizing that, you know, the First Order needs to be stopped. Being part of the Resistance is something that's worth fighting for. Saving the people I love is worth fighting for. And then in this one, he doesn't get much of anything to do. He gets, you know, a couple cool action beats. He gets to ride in there on a space horse. But he doesn't get much. A bit of a running thing in the first half of the movie that he has something that he has to tell Rey, which according to interviews and everything like that, is that he's force sensitive. You don't get much closure on that. This is coming from the guy who wielded a lightsaber in Episode 7 and went toe-to-toe with Kylo Ren, with zero training whatsoever, mind you. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. After a lot of thinking about it, after a lot of mulling it over, I mean, we're almost a year to the release date at this point. I really do feel in my jellies that this is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time ever. It's not perfect. You know, the Knights of Ren, who were built up in Episode 7, Rey's parentage, they gloss over that. So you're probably sitting there and asking yourself, well, why is this your favorite Star Wars movie? You know, I mean, we see that you're defending it. Taco, why is it your favorite? Well, Taco finna answer that question for you. The way the movie made me feel. You know, the feeling of this Star Wars movie made me feel like I was a kid watching Star Wars again for the first time in theaters watching Episode 1. You know, these Star Wars movies aren't perfect. They're not perfect at all. You know, look at the original trilogy. There was no plan. You know, they're all hatched together. That's why Leia and Luke are macking it out. But then, you know, hey, they're brother and sister. But we're going to forget what they were currently doing on Hoth. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's a space fantasy with laser swords and pew-pew blasters. That's why I feel like Episode 9 is my favorite. It taps into the joy and the wonder that I had as a kid. This is a fun movie. This is a fun movie to watch. It's not perfect. It's not smart. But Star Wars isn't any of that. It's space fantasy fun. And on that, I think they did the best they could with this. I think they did the best they could with wrapping it up. And that's why this is my favorite Star Wars movie. So, that's your movie recommendation for the weekend. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. As if there's still anybody left who hasn't seen the movie. You know, I mean, come on. Go on. As per usual, make sure you keep it locked here on YouTube. Do that like, do that subscribe. That way you can keep in touch and see what bad movie we're going to defend next week. Let us know down in the comments below if you guys have seen Rise of Skywalker. Let us know down in the comments below if you think that I'm an idiot for not only enjoying this, for also thinking that this is my favorite Star Wars movie. And do not forget to check us out on Instagram. Do not forget to check us out on Twitter, where we can definitely talk about this in even more detail. And we will catch you guys on the next video. This is VHS Tacos signing off. Adios.